Your brain is literally hardwired to blow accounts, but today you will learn the exact 6 steps to fix it. This same framework allowed me to stay funded for more than 4 years without ever losing control. Starting with the first. Most traders think a losing trade means they made a mistake, and that's why they never will be profitable. Jeff Bezos built Amazon using one mental model, the two-way door. If a decision is reversible, walk through fast. If it's irreversible, you better be sure before you commit. A normal loss is a two-way door. You take the loss, preserve the capital, and take the next trade. A blown account is a one-way door. But most traders treat every single loss like a one-way door to bankruptcy. Loss, new indicator, other loss, one more confirmation. And here is an even bigger problem. When traders try to avoid these losses, they eventually filter out their winning trades too. Psychologists found that the more conditions people need to meet before making a decision, the less likely they are to decide at all. And when they do, they are less confident in it. So every filter a trader adds doesn't just reduce their trade volume, it makes every remaining trade harder to take. And when the perfect setup finally appears, they hesitate because they've been waiting days for a single trade. So you need to completely reframe what a loss is. It's not a punishment for being wrong. It's simply the fee you pay to get to the winning trades. Traders can logically understand they have a 50% win rate, but the moment they take 3 losses back to back, their finger freezes over the mouse. Why? Because evolutionary biology makes the brain blind to statistics, it only remembers pain. It's like touching a hot stove and refusing to ever cook again. Your hand doesn't care if all of the future meals will be safe. It just remembers the burn. And when a trader takes a loss, they trigger a 3-step self-destruct sequence. When the next valid setup forms, a trader isn't looking at it objectively. They are looking through the lens of yesterday's pain. They start making up reasons not to enter, and by running away, they skip the exact trade designed to wipe out the previous losses. 5 minutes later, they watch that exact skip trade hit full take profit without them. The regret of missing out is 10 times worse than the pain of the original stop loss. The nervous system demands an immediate fix. To cure the regret, the trader immediately forces a garbage trade out of FOMO. Now they are in an even deeper drawdown from a trade that wasn't even in their plan. But instead of blaming their biology, they convince themselves the strategy stopped working, throw away months of backtesting and start searching for a new one. To break this cycle, you must stop fighting your biology and bypass it with 2 rules. Rule 1, you cannot trust your memory after a loss. You must outsource 100% of your belief to your spreadsheet and your data. Rule 2, categorize hesitation as rule break. If the setup is valid and you don't take it, you are actively destroying your own edge. A normal drawdown hits an account and instantly a trader's heart starts racing. Their palms sweat and they react as if they are in actual danger. Survival mode kicks in, so traders flee by panic closing the second the 5-minute candle turns against them. Or they fight by revenge trading with double the lot size to attack the market back as if it personally insulted their bloodline. And there is an interesting research about this. An MIT study wired day traders to clinical monitors to track their physiological responses to market volatility. The data was brutal. The traders whose heart rate spiked the highest during drawdowns were the ones who blew their account the fastest. Because once the nervous system takes over, following a logical trading plan becomes biologically impossible. But it gets even worse, because an adrenaline dump comes with a massive biological cost. Even if they don't blow their account, once that fight or flight spike ends, the nervous system completely crashes. Traders are left in a state of extreme decision fatigue. So 2 hours later, when the actual setup finally forms, they are too exhausted to take it. Do this enough times and they will never be a trader, because a permanent negative association forms. The brain links the act of trading to a severe biological exhaustion. Within weeks, they don't even need a drawdown to feel drained. At that point, even hearing the MT4 notification sign feels like PTSD. It completely destroys their ability to make rational decisions. To solve this, first, the moment your heart rate spikes, step away from the desk. Next, open your backtest and remind your brain that a 3% drawdown is a mathematical certainty, not an emergency. And finally, if you are still sweating after that, your position size is too high. Lower the risk until a red trade feels like a boring event. When an account takes a hit, a trader's first instinct is to change the rules. And that's why they keep going in circles for years. They are stuck in a 3-phase optimization loop. A trader gets wicked out by 1 pip. It hurts. So they widen their stop loss. Next week, a perfect trade leaves without them. It hurts. So they remove a confidence to get in earlier. And they aren't adapting to the market. They are reacting to their trauma. Within a month, a simple system turns into a 15-room Frankenstein strategy. RSI, Fibonacci, volume, support resistance, and probably the weather forecast as confirmation too. When they backtest this new Frankenstein strategy, it looks flawless because it was literally reverse engineered to avoid every past mistake. Armed with this fake data, they increase their lot size thinking they finally cracked the algorithm. The moment the market shifts, they blow their entire account without understanding what happened. And to fix the pain of blowing this account, they immediately start tweaking the rules again, which throws them straight back to phase 1. If this is exactly where you are right now, if you are confused, overwhelmed, or just feeling stuck in this loop, we built a free 21-day trading reset for advanced traders. In 3 weeks, we rebuild your foundation, show you exactly where you are stuck, and guide you out of it step by step. Because to finally break this cycle and destroy the illusion of the perfect system, you have to do something radical. From today, you implement the 100 trade contract. You pick a simple edge, you write it down, and you remove your right to judge its performance until you execute it perfectly 100 times. Most traders treat the market like a mirror of their ego. A winning trade means they are smart. A losing trade means they are stupid. And this guarantees they will never become profitable. Because if hitting a stop loss means I am stupid, the brain will do anything to avoid it. So traders move their stop loss because apparently accepting a 1 hour loss would destroy their entire ancestry. And they close their winners early just to feel they were right. Objectivity is gone because instead of risking 1% of their account, they are risking their entire ego. And this creates a fatal problem because if looking at losing trades feels like a personal attack, they stop reviewing their losses and they cannot fix the mistakes they refuse to look at. And now the real damage begins, because at this stage, their actual goal is no longer to make money. Their goal is simply to be right. They will happily take a tiny meaningless profit just to secure a win and stroke their ego, but they will let a massive loss run because closing it means admitting defeat. A famous financial study on the ostrich effect tracked the login habits of retail investors. When the accounts were in profit, traders logged in constantly, but during a drawdown, logins dropped by over 50%. When the account turned red, they instantly avoided looking at the data. To solve this, you have to divorce your identity from the outcome and attach it to something you have actual control over, which is execution. If you followed your plan and lost, you are a good trader. If you broke your rules and won, you are a gambler who got lucky. When it comes to executing a strategy, there are 2 paths you can take. One sounds professional but will blow your account, other sounds incredibly boring but is the only way to stay funded. Most traders choose the first path. They want to be the sniper. They spend hours hunting for that one perfect setup, waiting for 5 timeframes to align. But if a sniper only takes 5 trades a month, it takes them an entire year to gather 60 trades of data, which means they will need 2 years just to know if their strategy even works or not. And even if it is, they can easily be in drawdown for more than 6 months out of a year. A professor divided a class into 2 groups. Group A was graded on quantity. Group B was graded on quality, the snipers. At the end, the highest quality work came entirely from the quantity group. Why? Because while the snipers sat around paralyzed theorizing about perfection, the factory workers were constantly pulling the lever, adapting to every mistake. So you don't need to be a genius to pull money out of the market. You just need to be incredibly boring. Find a setup with an edge and execute it hundreds of times without changing the core strategy. I paid for this mental framework with years of frustration and a lot of blown accounts. Now you have the shortcut. But having the right psychology won't save you if your underlying strategy is a garbage. So if you want to see the exact mechanical system I repeat to stay funded, watch this video next.